What if I told you there are 5 bills many seniors never have to pay after turning 65, and knowing them could save you thousands of dollars every single year? Would you believe me? Or would you think it sounds too good to be true? Let's be honest, money feels different as we get older, doesn't it? When you're younger, it's all about making more, spending more, living bigger. But once you hit retirement age, every single dollar suddenly carries more weight. It's not just money, it's security, peace of mind, and the freedom to enjoy your golden years without constantly stressing about what's left in the bank. Now, here's the part most people don't realize. Once you cross that magic number of 65, certain expenses that once drained your wallet may no longer apply to you at all. Some bills shrink. Others disappear completely. And yet, far too many seniors go on paying them simply because they never knew about the benefits or exemptions they were entitled to. That's why today's video is so important. Because by the end of this, you'll know the 5 specific bills that seniors often stop paying after 65, and more importantly, how to make sure you or your loved ones actually take advantage of these opportunities. Imagine what you could do with that extra money, whether it's treating yourself, helping your grandkids, or just breathing easier at the end of the month. But before we dive in, let me ask you something. If you had the power to wipe out just one bill from your life forever, which one would it be? Is it those endless medical premiums, those heavy property taxes, or maybe those sneaky bank fees that keep showing up? Drop your answer in the comments below. I'd love to see what frustrates you the most, and I bet a lot of people here will agree with you. And while you're here, don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide. This channel is all about helping you live smarter, healthier, and happier in your senior years. Because you've worked hard your entire life, and now, it's time to make sure your money works hard for you. Let's start with one of the biggest burdens you've probably carried for years, healthcare premiums. Think about Susan, 66 years old. For decades she paid steep premiums through her employer just to keep her family covered. Month after month, it felt like half her paycheck disappeared before she even saw it. But then something changed. The moment she enrolled in Medicare at 65, that familiar monthly deduction, gone. Just like that, the bill that had haunted her for years was off her plate. This is where so many seniors breathe their very first sigh of financial relief in retirement. Because Medicare steps in and takes over a huge chunk of what you once paid out of pocket. Hospital stays, doctor visits, routine checkups, those heavy costs that seemed impossible to manage on your own are suddenly covered in ways they never were before. It's almost like lifting a weight you didn't even realize you'd been carrying for so long. But here's something important. Medicare isn't magic, and it doesn't cover everything. A lot of people assume that the moment they qualify, all their medical needs are automatically free. That's not true. Prescriptions, dental care, vision, and certain types of long-term care, those often still carry separate costs. This is where so many seniors get caught off guard. They think they can ignore the fine print, and then the bills sneak back in. The smarter approach is to really look at your options. Part A covers hospital stays. Part B handles doctor visits. And then there are supplemental plans, like Part D for prescriptions or Medigap plans that fill in the gaps. Yes, it takes a little time to compare, but that small effort can mean the difference between overpaying for years, or finally keeping more of your retirement income where it belongs, in your pocket. So here's the key takeaway: don't assume the system will automatically give you the best deal. Ask questions. Compare plans. Make sure the coverage you choose actually fits your needs. Because when it comes to healthcare premiums, the difference between paying too much and paying almost nothing could be thousands of dollars a year. And healthcare premiums aren't the only expense that shrinks once you hit 65. In fact, there's another bill, one tied directly to the place you call home, that can disappear, or at least get a whole lot lighter, if you know where to look. Now let's talk about property taxes. Imagine David, a retired teacher who had worked his whole life pouring knowledge into young minds. After retiring, he looked at his budget and realized one of his biggest yearly expenses wasn't groceries, wasn't electricity, wasn't even medical bills, it was property taxes on the house he had already paid off. It felt unfair. He had owned that home for decades, yet the government kept sending a bill year after year. But then David learned something most seniors never hear about. His state offered a property tax exemption for people over 65. With one application, his tax bill dropped dramatically. In fact, he saved thousands of dollars every single year, money he was now able to use for travel, for helping his grandkids with college, and for simply enjoying the retirement he had worked so hard for. And here's the truth, property taxes don't have to be a lifelong burden. Many states, counties, and even small towns have special programs designed just for seniors. Some freeze your property taxes at the rate you're paying when you turn 65, so they never go up again. Others cut them in half. And in certain areas, seniors with lower incomes don't have to pay property taxes at all. The problem is that most people assume property taxes are fixed, unchangeable, something you just have to accept. Families often believe that once you buy a house, you're locked into paying forever. But that's not the whole story. Seniors often qualify for relief. They just never apply because no one tells them these programs exist. That's why you should always check your county or city's website, or better yet, call the local tax office directly. Ask about senior exemptions, credits, or freezes. Even if it doesn't wipe your taxes away completely, even a partial exemption can save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars every year. And when you're living on a fixed income, that difference can feel life-changing. So if you're a homeowner over 65, don't assume you're stuck paying the same tax bill forever. Chances are, there's a program out there waiting for you to take advantage of it. Now, saving money on your home is one thing. But what if I told you that another expense, one you probably never thought about in retirement, could actually turn into an opportunity? Something that doesn't just save you money, but might even let you learn, grow, and explore at no cost at all. That's right, let's talk about education. Here's one that surprises almost everyone: college tuition and education fees. Picture Eleanor, 70 years old. She had always loved history, but life had a way of keeping her busy, raising kids, working long hours, paying bills. When she finally had the time in retirement, she thought about going back to school. But her first thought was, I can't afford that. College is too expensive these days. Still, she did a little research, and the shocking part? She didn't pay a dime for tuition. That's right, many colleges and universities across the country open their doors to seniors. Some allow older adults to audit classes for free, meaning you can sit in, learn, and engage without paying tuition. Others go even further and waive the costs entirely, letting seniors enroll in regular credit courses without the heavy price tag. Imagine sitting in a classroom, surrounded by curious minds, exploring subjects you always wanted to study but never had the chance to before. And all of it without touching your savings. The biggest misconception is that education is only for the young, or that once you retire, the classroom is behind you. But learning doesn't have an age limit. In fact, keeping your brain active by challenging yourself with new ideas, new skills, and new conversations can be one of the healthiest things you do in your golden years. It's not just about knowledge, it's about staying sharp, engaged, and connected to a world that's constantly evolving. And here's where so many seniors miss out. They assume that even if opportunities exist, the costs will still be too high. But that's not the case. Many community colleges, public universities, and lifelong learning institutes have programs designed specifically for seniors. All it takes is a phone call, or sometimes just filling out a short application. The door is already open, you just have to walk through it. So if you've ever dreamed of taking that art class, learning another language, or finally diving into a subject that always fascinated you, don't let money be the reason you hold back. Retirement can be a new beginning, and the classroom might be exactly the place where that beginning starts. And speaking of ongoing costs, there's another bill that often hides in plain sight, one connected to your daily routine of getting from place to place. Let's move into another area where the savings can really surprise you: transportation costs. Think about Robert, 72 years old. For decades, he drove everywhere. He paid for gas, parking fees, car insurance, regular oil changes, and unexpected repairs that always seemed to come at the worst time. By the end of each year, he realized he was spending hundreds, sometimes thousands, just to keep his car on the road. But then, Robert discovered something simple: his city offered a senior transit pass. With one card, most of his bus and subway rides around town cost him nothing. Suddenly, what used to be a major monthly expense disappeared almost overnight. And here's the bigger picture: many cities and towns across the country provide these benefits. Seniors often qualify for free or deeply discounted bus passes, subway cards, or even commuter train tickets. In some places, you can ride off-peak hours completely free. It's a way communities give back to their elders, making sure mobility doesn't come at the cost of financial stress. Now, a common assumption is that driving is always more convenient. You control your schedule, your route, and your comfort. But when you sit down and add up the hidden costs of owning a car, gas prices, rising insurance premiums, tire replacements, parking fees, it becomes clear that driving isn't always the cheaper option. For many seniors, those costs add up to far more than they realize. And here's another point that doesn't get enough attention: not every senior can or wants to drive anymore. Health conditions, vision changes, or simply the stress of traffic make driving less appealing. That's where nonprofit and community programs step in. Many local organizations offer free shuttle services for seniors, especially to medical appointments, grocery stores, or community centers. It's not just about saving money, it's about staying connected to your community without the constant pressure of managing a car. So, if you're still paying out of pocket every time you leave the house, it's worth asking what's available in your area. A quick call to your city's transit office or senior services department could uncover discounts or passes that keep your wallet a little fuller each month. But even if you rarely take public transit, don't tune out just yet. Because the next bill I want to share with you is one you might not think about much, but it's something we all face, no matter where we live. And here's the good news: after 65, it might not be your burden anymore. Now let's talk about one of those sneaky little bills that can quietly drain your money without you even realizing it: bank fees. Think about Margaret, 68 years old. Every month, she noticed small deductions on her account: $10 here, $15 there, sometimes even more if she used an ATM that wasn't part of her bank's network. For years she thought, well, that's just the cost of having a bank account. But then, one day, her granddaughter suggested she ask about senior accounts. And to Margaret's surprise, she discovered her bank had a program that waived maintenance fees, removed ATM charges, and even protected her from overdraft penalties, all because she was over 65. Overnight, those frustrating little charges that had been adding up for years disappeared. Here's the reality: many banks and credit unions across the country offer special accounts for seniors. These accounts are designed to reduce or eliminate the extra charges that younger customers often face. Monthly maintenance fees? Gone. Extra charges for using an ATM outside your network? Waived. Even those painful overdraft fees that can snowball into hundreds of dollars, they're often reduced or completely forgiven for seniors. But here's the catch: banks don't always advertise these programs loudly. In fact, most people assume these fees are just unavoidable. They see them as part of life, like the cost of electricity or water. But that assumption costs seniors money they could be keeping. Banks aren't going to knock on your door and say, "Hey, we can stop charging you." You have to ask. You have to know what to look for. That's why it's so important to call your bank directly. Ask about senior-friendly checking or savings accounts. Don't be afraid to compare with other institutions. sometimes a smaller community bank or credit union will offer even better benefits than the big national names. And here's another tip: if you've been a loyal customer for decades, don't be shy about mentioning that. Banks often value long-term relationships and may be willing to extend perks they don't usually advertise. So if you're still paying fees every month just to use your own money, it's time to stop. One phone call could put that money back in your pocket where it belongs. Now, when you add all of these savings together, the healthcare premiums you no longer pay, the property tax relief programs, the free education opportunities, the transportation discounts, and the elimination of bank fees, the total isn't small. It's not just a few dollars here and there. It's thousands of dollars every single year staying in your pocket instead of slipping away. And that kind of difference can completely change the way you experience retirement. For so many seniors, money is more than just numbers on a page. It's not just about what's written in the balance column of a bank statement, it's about what that balance represents. It's security. It's dignity. It's the ability to live life on your own terms without fear of running out. It's the peace of mind that lets you wake up in the morning knowing that you're not one unexpected bill away from stress and worry. Think about it: for decades, you worked, saved, and contributed. You paid into systems that promised to be there when you needed them. Now, in retirement, those years of effort are meant to serve you, not to drain you. But too often, the reality is the opposite. Bills stack up. Healthcare costs climb. Property taxes rise. Bank fees quietly nibble at your hard-earned savings. And that constant financial pressure can cast a shadow over what should be the brightest chapter of your life. But here's the shift I want you to feel deep inside: retirement doesn't have to be about cutting back, stressing, or constantly worrying about money. It can be about reclaiming control. By simply knowing about these hidden benefits, programs that are already out there, waiting for you, you transform the entire picture. Instead of living in fear of expenses, you start to live in confidence, prepared and protected. You no longer see bills as threats, you see them as opportunities to explore what resources are available to reduce them. And that change in perspective matters. Because when fear loosens its grip, joy has space to grow. You begin to focus on the things that truly matter: spending time with your grandchildren, enjoying hobbies you never had time for, traveling, learning, laughing, and simply living without the constant weight of financial anxiety. If you're over 65, or if you have a parent, grandparent, or loved one in this age group, don't let another day pass without checking into these savings. Every benefit you claim, every fee you eliminate, every discount you access, it all adds up. And those little steps can make the difference between struggling to get by and truly enjoying the years you've earned. You've carried the load for a long time. You've put in the hours, raised families, contributed to your communities, and helped build the world around you. Now it's time to let those years of effort reward you, not with struggle, but with peace. Not with fear, but with freedom. Because you deserve dignity, comfort, and the assurance that your retirement years can be spent in calm and joy. This isn't about handouts. It's about taking back what you've already worked for. It's about honoring the effort of a lifetime by making sure you're not leaving money on the table. You've earned this. And now, it's time to claim it. So, let's take a quick moment to pull everything together. We've uncovered 5 bills that many seniors often never have to pay after 65. First, those heavy healthcare premiums that once ate into your income can shrink once Medicare steps in. Second, property taxes, yes, those dreaded annual costs, can sometimes disappear or shrink dramatically, depending on your state or county. Third, college tuition and education fees, because lifelong learning doesn't have to come with a price tag in your golden years. Fourth, transportation costs. Public transit and senior ride programs can save you hundreds, even thousands, while keeping you connected to the world around you. And finally, those hidden bank fees and financial charges, which many seniors never realize can be waived once they reach 65. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 bills surprised you the most? Did one of them make you stop and think, I never knew that? Or maybe you know of another expense that seniors can avoid after 65, something you've personally benefited from or seen a loved one experience. Share it in the comments below, because your story could be the very thing that helps another senior watching today. Remember, the comments section isn't just a box, it's a place where your wisdom can ripple out and help countless others. And if this video gave you even one idea, one tip that could save you money or bring peace of mind, do me a small favor, give it a thumbs up. It lets me know that this kind of content matters to you, and it helps more seniors just like you find this video. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide. This channel is your trusted companion, here to help you live smarter, healthier, and happier in your golden years. Every day, I bring you practical tips, emotional support, and the kind of knowledge that makes a real difference in day-to-day life. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. You're not just watching, you're taking steps to protect your future, to make retirement less stressful, and to make life more enjoyable. That matters. So until next time, stay wise, stay strong, and keep embracing every single day with confidence and courage. I'll see you in the next video.